living longer, living healthier, living better than ever before. Welcome to Mountain Pacific's Healthy Living for Life, a weekly series that gives you the information, education, and expert insight you need to become an active participant in today's ever-changing healthcare climate. Here now is today's program host.
These days, no one ever seems to stay in one place, so staying in touch with family and friends makes traveling a necessity. But traveling isn't always easy, and for people who deal with certain health conditions, it can seem almost impossible. Welcome to Healthy Living for Life, a show dedicated to helping you do just that. I'm your host, Beth Brown. Today, we have some tips to help bring smoother sailing to your travel plans. Stay tuned. If a health condition prevents you from taking a dream trip or from traveling to spend time with your friends and family, you are not alone. The complications of travel can seem like it's not worth the hassle and the stress. But today, Leslie Egbert of Live Longitude Travel is joining us to explain that with some good planning, your trip is possible. So thanks so much for being here with us today, Leslie.
Thank you for having me.
So let's talk about traveling by air. If somebody has a medical condition or a disability that seems like it could make things a little more difficult, do you have any advice on how to help make sure that their plane ride or their air travel goes a little more smoothly?
Yes, so for any type of travel, you want to make sure to give yourself plenty of time to get to the airport, to go through security. Always holiday season travel is very busy, so give yourself enough time. But in addition to that, people can contact the TSA if they have a specific health concern, whether it's regarding medication, mobility issues, even service dogs, military, the elderly, whoever. TSA is a great resource to reach out to, and they can assist you with any questions you have, or they can actually even have somebody meet you at the screening process when you go through security if you have concerns. And then another great idea to do is that there's also a TSA notification card that you can get. You just go online and you can type in what your medical issue is, and that way you can discreetly hand it to the TSA agent so that not everybody in line hears what your condition may be.
That is great advice. I didn't know that that card existed. So you mentioned 2 medications. Can we talk a little bit more about that? Do you have advice for folks if they're traveling with their medications?
Sure. So medications can go in any form. So if you have liquid medications, they're not subject to the 3.4 ounce rule.
Okay.
And you just want to make sure that you separate it from the rest of your luggage. If you're doing a carry-on only, make sure you have it separated out so that it's not with your quart-sized bag. And then also you're going to want to make sure you have a list of your medications in case you need to provide proof.
Smart. Okay. And what about that carry-on bag then? You talked a little bit about that. Any other tips about what to think of when you're using a carry-on?
So for carry-ons, definitely always include all of your medication that you may need for your trip.
Okay.
Just in case anymore, especially holiday peak times, we have a lot of people traveling. So you don't want to have your medication be lost or delayed, and due to a flight delay, maybe you make it, maybe your bag does not. It might not necessarily be lost, but it's lagging behind when you arrive. So you definitely want to make sure that you keep all of that information and all of your medication in your carry-on, as well as an extra change of clothes and any other necessities that you may need.
Okay, great, perfect. Those are good tips. So what about going through security? You talked about having the card for TSA, but any other tips as far as if you need a little extra time or some help? Do you have some advice there?
So as I had mentioned before, you can contact TSA, and there's a line called TSA Cares that you can call into, and they can help you with the screening process, but they don't talk to the airline. So if you need extra help at the gate, you need a motor cart or wheelchair assistant, you need to contact the airline directly, because even though you may contact TSA and they will help you with the screening process, you can get somebody there from TSA to help you for extra assistance. They don't talk to the airline. So you need to do that separately.
Okay. Let's switch gears now and talk about traveling by road. So for those folks who have medical conditions, what kind of advice or things they should keep in mind if they are going by car to wherever they're trying to get to?
So the same type of rules apply. Give yourself plenty of time. It's a good idea to map out your route so that you know where the rest stops are, any gas stations that you may want to stop at. It's good if you're traveling over, a few hours away, that you stop periodically, stay hydrated, bring snacks, make sure that your car is equipped with the proper tires, you've got it all up to date, maintained, so that you can prevent anything from that happening. And then also make sure you're equipped with warm clothing, snow boots, in case you do break down, that you've got those supplies with you.
That's a good tip. So any other advice you would give, especially around holidays or if it's a holiday weekend and the roads or the airports are going to be busy?
Just be prepared, and I always say have a good attitude. A good attitude will take you a long way. So be nice to those people, because the gate agents and the people working at the airports are dealing with a lot as well. And if you're nice, it goes a lot further than being upset. And it's also going to be a lot smoother for you if you've, just relax and go with the flow.
Yeah, that's great. So we talked already a little bit about the whole traveling by car, and you mentioned tires and snow boots. Any other tips that you would give for driving in the winter, especially?
Always map out your road or look at the road conditions. Look at the road report from where you're leaving from to where you're going, to be advised of any road closures or anything that may, delay your trip a little bit or may cause dangerous conditions. You might want to wait and hold off and leave a few hours later or even the next day.
Okay, that's smart. And then how about making sure people know how to get to where they're going? Any tips on routes if you're unfamiliar with the roads?
Definitely. There's several apps that you can download. People love Google Maps.
Yep, for sure.
And then also, your car's GPS. I tend to like Google Maps a little bit more. My GPS is sometimes a little off.
Right.
And then if you're visiting friends or family, talk to them. See what their local advice is. Maybe they know a better road to take or an easier route to get to your destination.
Perfect, Leslie. We need to pause here for a quick break. But coming up next, change up in routines. Being up early, long days, and being around a lot of people can lead to feeling run down or even get you sick. What can you do to stay healthy while traveling? We'll talk about that right after this. Don't go away. We'll be right back.